over at the Department of Health and Human Services, they're busy making another move toward making America healthy again. Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., along with FDA Commissioner Dr. Marty Makary, have started their latest food fight to ban petroleum-based food dyes. Now, to say these dyes are found everywhere would be an understatement. We're talking candy, hot dogs, cereal, wasabi with your sushi, pickles, even canned vegetables. We like our green beans green, apparently, really, really green. But Kennedy and Dr. Makary argue that those dyes are responsible for rising obesity and health conditions in children, things like ADHD and diabetes. The pair appeared together on Tuesday, along with the director of the National Institutes on Health, to make the announcement.
Start informing Americans about what they're eating. And we're going to try to work with Congress and the White House to make sure that we have adequate labeling so mothers who go into the grocery stores know what is good for their children and what is not. It's the time to redouble your efforts because we have them on the run now. And we are going to win this battle. And 4 years from now, we're going to have most of these products off the market, or you will know about them when you go in the grocery store.
And FDA Commissioner Dr. Marty Makary joins us now. Doctor, great to have you with us. So RFK Jr. says he wants some of these petroleum-based dyes. And just by the way, I just got to say, the mere fact that I'm saying petroleum anything is in our food is a little distressing. But he wants these dyes out of American food, some of them by 2026. That's next year. Can that really happen?
Yeah, this has been a historic week. For 35 years, different groups and parents have complained about these petroleum-based dyes. They don't just go through the GI tract. They show up in the blood system of young kids, and they're ubiquitous, just as you just pointed out. And so we have taken steps, announced this Tuesday, to approve natural ingredient flavors to replace these petroleum-based food dyes. 4 of them in particular in the coming weeks. We're removing the authorization on 2 of the petroleum-based dyes in the next few months. And we are working with industry and exploring all the statutory and regulatory power we have to get them off the market. We're simply asking the companies to remove the petroleum-based dyes and replace them with natural ingredients for American kids, just as they already do for kids in Europe and Canada.
So the food industry hasn't publicly, at least, agreed to remove the dyes. Can you force them to?
We do have a lot of authority, but I believe you win more bees with honey than fire. So we are working with them. And I've got to tell you, Elizabeth, they have been extremely positive and cooperative. They're watching different bills and laws in 30 different states to try to ban these artificial colors. They don't want to deal with a patchwork of 30 different state laws. They want a national standard and a national timeline. So that's what we delivered on. Remember, Republican, Democrat, independent moms voted in high numbers for President Trump on this very issue. And healthy food for children is what Secretary Kennedy is championing, and that is the F in FDA. So we are committed to doing an inventory, not just of food dyes, but all of the chemicals in our food supply, and look at the most concerning when it comes to health.
The trade organization that represents food makers put out a statement saying the ingredients used in America's food supply have been rigorously studied following an objective science and risk-based evaluation. It's been demonstrated to be safe. How do you respond to that?
Well, the individual corporations that manufacture food, they've been much more open and willing to work with us. And so when it comes to safety and concern, why are we taking a risk? What study do they want? Do they want us to do a randomized trial where we take half of the kids and inject them with crude oil into their blood system? We already have a great study in Lancet. There are other studies. And there's parents that have observed when they eliminate these petroleum-based food dyes from the diet of their children, their aggressive behavior or their ADHD improves. And in some cases, when they reintroduce the artificial colors, that behavior regresses and comes back. That is enough data. We're not going to get a 10-year randomized trial. We have enough data.
Well, so doctor, is this just a matter of aesthetics? I mean, do these dyes change the taste of food? If we take them out, will the pickles or the Skittles or the chicken bouillon taste any different?
These 8 petroleum-based food dyes that we are targeting have no taste. They have no nutritional value. They are simply there for the attractiveness of the food. And let's be honest, they're often on ultra-processed food that's not good for kids. And studies have shown that these vibrant colors that don't naturally appear in food they're messing with the brains of these young developing children, and it makes them want these foods even when they feel full. And what results is this sort of attractiveness or addiction to food, and obesity is food addiction. A third of our nation's kids are diabetic or pre-diabetic by the time they become teens. We have an epidemic and a crisis. The answer is not more medications. The answer is to look at the underlying root chemicals and this toxic soup that kids are raised in.
We've heard a lot about red dye number 5, but I just want to take a look at another one that you've really focused on, and it's yellow dye number 5. It's in everything from Mountain Dew to chicken bouillon to pancake mix to pickles. And in Europe, foods with yellow dye number 5 have a warning label on them saying it may cause adverse effect on activity and attention in children. These warning labels are all over food in Europe. They're not on any of the foods here, because until now, the FDA has done nothing, saying there's inconclusive evidence.
Yeah, it makes no sense to be putting this yellow dye number 5, which is a chemical called tartrazine, in all of these foods. It just doesn't make sense. It was discovered in coal tar in the coal ash, and they noticed synthetically they could make it into a bright, vibrant color. And then it started to be introduced into fabrics to have bright yellow fabrics. And then somebody said, hey, let's just put it in food. So it's crazy. Now you actually have cereal made in the United States with these ingredients. Even medicines include yellow dye number 5 sometimes. And the same products are made for Canadian kids without these ingredients.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I think if they were in giant letters, petroleum or coal ash on the candy that my kids were eating, I don't think I'd be letting them eat that. One last quick question. Speaking of candy, RFK Jr. also said at the news conference you were both at, quote, sugar is poison. Is that your next battle? Please say no.
Well, look, believe it or not, the food pyramid, which is one of the greatest sources of government information in human health history, and the nutritional guidance of the government still has in there that kids should have up to a certain amount of sugar even in their infancy as babies. Well, the appropriate amount of added sugar for babies is 0.
Yeah.
So we need to take a hard look at that. No one's talking about banning sugar, but it's something we have to educate the public on better than the food pyramid, which was written to sell products.
Just don't take my dark chocolate. Dr. Marty Makary, great to talk to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.